a boy gets Colorado town to overturn a ban on snowball fights, which is amazing. Snowball fights are one of the most colorful, fun activities that you get when you're stuck in a snowy town. And I know this because it snowed a lot where I grew up, and snowball fights were a part of my daily snow wintry routine, for sure. And let me tell you something, I've hit many a moving vehicle with a snowball. I've been chased. Oh man, I've had some good times. This is in a place called Severance, Colorado. Severance. A 9-year-old boy has convinced the leaders of a small northern Colorado town to overturn a nearly century-old ban on snowball fights. And he already knows who his first target is going to be. His little brother. He went to great lengths to hit his little brother with a snowball. Actually filled out some paperwork and shit. I will hit you with a snowball. You can't, man. It's illegal. It is today. But I'm going to the town hall meeting tomorrow. I'm going to speak to the city council, and by Friday, I'm going to be bashing you with snowballs right in your face, bro. And then he did it. Dane Best? That sounds like a porn name. Dane Best, who lives in the often snow-swept town of Severance, presented his arguments at a town board meeting Monday night, and the members voted unanimously to lift the snowball ban. I think it's an outdated law, Dane said in the lead up to the meeting. He's a 9-year-old, he said this phrase? I didn't even know that word when I was 9. Outdated? He says, I want to be able to throw a snowball without getting into any trouble. Now that's something I could have related to and said as a 9-year-old. Dane's mother is Brooke Best. She told the Tribune that her son had been talking about snowballs since he found out about a month and a half ago that it was illegal to throw them within town limits. The last time it snowed, Dane said he and his friends looked around for police and joked about breaking this snowball fighting law. Somebody who's a town administrator said the rule was part of a larger ordinance that made it illegal to throw or shoot stones or missiles at people, at animals, at buildings, trees, or any other public or private property or vehicles. Snowballs fell under the town's definition of, quote, missiles. Oh. Well, that's a little strict. There's a big difference between a rock and a snowball. All of the kids always get blown away that it's illegal to have a snowball fight in Severance, one of the counselors said. So what ends up happening is the town leaders always encourage the kids with, you have the power, you can change the law yourself, but no one has. Well, this kid Dane took up the cause. He wrote letters with his classmates in support of overturning this snowball fighting ban. And after Monday night's success, his 4-year-old brother, Dax and Dane Best, oh, these kids are going to be a nuisance in the neighborhood now. You could just tell. With a name like Dane and Dax, names like those, I mean, they better watch out. When board members asked Dane during a meeting in November who he wants to hit, he pointed directly at his little brother. Dane and his family have researched other Severance ordinances, including one that defines pets only as cats and dogs. Well, Dane has a guinea pig, which is apparently illegal in Severance as well. So I have a feeling Dane is going to be going back to the board with another emendation to the local laws. Allow his guinea pig to be a pet. Oh. This is great. Children getting involved in changing policy. You know, it's great, and you know, it's a little misleading though, because it gives this kid hope that you know, on a larger scale, national, federal level, that he'll be able to just do things like this and change laws, and that's really not the case, unfortunately. We like to think that it's the case, and we like to live in this polite fiction that we all can change, make real legislative change. But at the end of the day, when you dig deep into just, you know, not only federal, but a lot of local politics, which I've looked into in Los Angeles, you can see that there's a lot of people with money making most of the decisions, and you think that your local city council has your best interest in mind as a you know, an ordinary citizen, and they really don't. And I'm witnessing this happen in Los Angeles on a first-hand basis, living in downtown LA, where there's a lot of change going on. So it's pretty. I didn't mean to bring the podcast to such a dreary place. I'm sorry. Look, let's celebrate snowball fights, shall we? Let's take a turn here, because snowball fights are amazing. I'm very pleased. You know, for a town to not allow snowball fighting, I mean, you take the joy out of, you know, what is, you know, usually, you know, to find some joy in snowfall, it's hard. It's difficult. I mean, of course, when you've never seen snow or you're visiting a place that's snowing, and where you live it doesn't snow, it's like, yay, it's a novelty. But when you live there, trust me, it's not fun after a few years. You're just like, this again, shoveling again, riding my car around in the snow again. I mean, it's just annoying. And snowball fights are a reprieve. They're a nice little, you know, sort of bonus that you get. You know, everywhere you go is something you can throw at someone. It's amazing, and I love throwing things. I always have. I'm very good at throwing things, by the way. I have a very accurate, strong throwing arm from, you know, playing baseball since I was 2 years old, pretty much. And I've been throwing snowballs since I was probably 8 months. I'd imagine. I don't know, something like that. I love it though. I love snowball fighting. I love snowballs. If you guys, I'll tell you what, here's what I'll do. If my Patreon gets up to 2,000 a month, I will buy a plane ticket and fly to one of your snowy hometowns. I'm sure some of you weirdos live in a place that snows, and I will personally have a snowball fight with you. How about that? That's pretty cool, right? So donate to the Patreon. What a weird way to get people to donate to your Patreon, Jonesy. I know. Well, this is a weird show, and everything about it is weird, so why break the mold? Break the mold? That's not right. Why break the pattern?